So then guys, it's a little bit of a different video. I know I say that all the time actually, but it is a different video because this is a bit of an educational video really to kind of give you some ideas on how products actually work. We get a lot of questions all the time, especially when we've detailed a car or done some work on it, on how to maintain it and how to keep up with it. But there's a lot of fancy videos out there at the minute with a lot of marketing money thrown at them and a lot of, you know, like editing, and to be fair, they look amazing. I'm not going to fault them, and the products do what they're saying they do, so they're not lying about them at all, and I'm not saying that. I'm not going to name any brands or any particular type of product name because I don't even know what they're called, if I'm honest. I don't look into them that much, but the videos are cool. I watch them, they pop up on Facebook and I do see them, and the truth is they look really good. And I can imagine why people kind of think they're amazing and they're going to be buying them. So it's just kind of a bit of an intro to products and to kind of explain how things really work, because the reality is, I'd say most people, even some of the avid enthusiasts or people who are really OCD or kind of really want to maintain the car, don't understand how they work. And these videos are... they're giving them false kind of advertisement, false information, and they're making them believe certain things. So, to cut the story short anyway, shampoos. When it comes to shampoos, we do two versions. We only really sell this one, if I'm totally honest. This is DT, which means Detailer's Choice. And the reason it's called that is, for many years when we made it, we sell to a lot of valeters and detailers, and this is the shampoo they tell us that is their go-to for the higher end sort of work, because it glides, it's super smooth, it's not got a lot of salt in it. Yes, shampoo does have salt in when you see them foam up and sud a lot and look amazing in the buckets. It's generally salt that does that. You don't want salt on your car, so again, that's another thing about products that kind of make things look ace, and reality is it's not good for your car. But anyway, this is their go-to product, so it's called DT, Detailer's Choice. We also do pink stuff. Now, pink stuff basically is a wash wax. So the difference in the two, it probably sounds straightforward, but it might not be. Shampoo only, washes your car, doesn't put anything on the car, doesn't put any films or layers on the car. So if you have a protection on your car of any kind that's good, be it a one-shot type sealant, a wax, or even a spray sealant to a point, you would only wash your car with shampoo. Why? Because you don't want to put an inferior product over a superior product, because if you do, your repelling and your water angles and your beading is not going to do what you're saying it's going to do. So you could have an amazing car that sheets and repels and use a wash wax, that you're going to lose that hydrophobic side. It's not going to repel and sheet and bead, or even stop things like tar and birdlime from running off as well as it should, because you've put an inferior product over the top. So that's the thing you need to bear in mind when it comes to actual products. So if you don't do anything with your car, you just want to wash it, dry it and go, wash wax is absolutely amazing. Otherwise, don't even bother with it. Use a shampoo. Use a proper shampoo, dry it and do nothing else if that's really the case. Especially if you've got ceramic, it should be a case of snow foam, pre-wash, rinse, shampoo, rinse, and then top up with something like a ceramic spray if you have a ceramic coating on your car, because this will basically just keep the ceramic working as it should and give the longevity a lot more. So say you've got a year, 3 years, 5 years out of it, this will basically maintain it. So that's your shampoo. So when it comes to sealants, I've kind of done them in order to a point. It's actually that way around, I'm dropping them. But this is kind of how sealants works. So when it comes to sealants, there's a few things to kind of explain. You can have a quick detail product. A quick detail product isn't really a sealant. It may have protection, as in it repels, it beads, it looks like it's hydrophobic. Sometimes a silicone, we don't do those, but sometimes they're a silicone product. Sometimes they have some form of SiO2 or some sealant in them that does make water repel and bead. And the reality is, they are really, really good and they will work. However, it's not a real sealant, it's a temporary sealant. So things like birdlime that sit on your car, it will not protect it against. It will eat through. Tar will stick to it if it's bad. It's more of a temporary thing, which I'm going to go through in a little minute on another video at the end of this to give you a guide on other kind of sealant options and how cars wash. So that's where you start with, temporary sealants. QDS is a temporary sealant. You probably know of QDS. It's a really popular product. We've done it for over 20 years. The idea of QDS is it's actually a genuine wax. So even though this is again only a temporary sealant, it does actually help against things like birdlime because it puts a wax layer on your car. But again, it's only a temporary sealant. Then we have SC Pro. So SC Pro is probably the most popular product we've ever done, and it's a true ceramic spray. It is only a top up, but it's a true spray. It's not silicone, and this is actually aimed for customers who've had a ceramic coating with us. This is what we'd sell you if you'd had a ceramic coating, and it's a way of keeping up with your car. But it actually works on cars that don't have ceramic, and this can give you up to 8 weeks protection on its own. So again, it is only temporary. It will help against birdlime a little bit, same as QDS. But it's not a true protective sealant, it's a sealant. That's the difference, it's not a true protection. You then jump onto waxes, which are obviously a bit old school. We were the biggest wax producer in the UK for a long time. The range was absolutely massive. Yes, it's phased out a little bit because other products and ceramics and so on have kind of come onto the market. But a true wax, a true wax, basically will give you a protection against things like birdlime, and it can last up to 6 months to a year sometimes depending on the wax. I'm saying with waxes, don't get too hung up on waxes because they're not as popular as they used to be. People have other options, and to be fair, people tend to be using more temporary sealants unless they're really avid details or really enthusiasts when it comes to it, so don't get too hung up on it. But a lot of waxes have carnauba in them, and carnauba's dark and it's yellow, and it will lose some of the gloss finish to your car. When you put it on, it looks amazing because it's quite wet, but what you don't realise is it darkens when it dries a little bit. Still has gloss, but it will lose some of the finish to your car. So that's why we don't use carnauba or a lot of carnauba in our waxes, because it will dull your paint. And again, that's something people don't realise. But moving on from that to proper sealants now. We have something called one-shot body. Now I know this is the tiniest bottle in the world that you can imagine, it's ridiculous. That actually will do your car twice, believe it or not. Now this is in between a wax and a ceramic sealant. So it's the next best thing without spending a lot of money and having something that is a little bit tricky to put on. This applies really easy, buffs off really easy, and can give you up to 12 months protection. We do a wheel version, which is a bit more heat resistant, and that can give you up to 6 months protection. This is a massive seller with the Focus RS Mark III, guys, for one reason. The wheels on the RS, if you've owned one, you probably know, are not painted very well. It's like they've blown over the top, not covered the back of them, and don't always cover the spokes. And they are a satin finish and they go matte because they're not looked after very well and not painted right. So the one shot, people within the Focus RS groups on Facebook gone mad for it. They have done for years because it brings back that satin gloss type finish to the wheels, but it gives a long-term protection, because we also know that a lot of performance cars, especially the ones with Brembos, powder really bad after you wash the car. You'll drive off and you get an orangey dust on your wheels almost instantly, and you just think, I've just spent 3 hours washing my car and it looks crap. So One Shot is an amazing product, and again, a true sealant that anyone can use and get up to 12 months out of it. You then go on to proper ceramics, which is obviously our signature coat, and a big brand that we use and avid with is Ceramic Pro. These are true sealants, true 9H sealants. Again, I'm not going to bore you with how ceramic really works and what options they are, because there's a lot of brands out there. A lot of them are rubbish. A lot of them are just hype and silicons, especially Chinese stuff. And then there's a lot of brands out there that are really good, but they're not really telling you what they are. So, a very quick insight into ceramic. When you put a true 9H ceramic coating on a car, it toughens the paint up. That's what it's designed to do, harden the paint, create a better finish, and stop swirls, scratches, and generally people marking it. If you get a scratch, you can buff it out the ceramic and it's not in the actual clear coat, so you're protecting your paint long term. However, when you put a true 9H on a car, it isn't smooth. It's not hydrophobic, it doesn't glide. You come in the next day after we've baked a car and the paint works pretty rough. That's when you know it's a true 9H. A lot of the ceramics out there at the minute are a one layer, one shot product. You put it on your car and it repels and beads like mad, like a real ceramic effectively should. but it's not a 9H. That's the difference, and that's the difference with us using our brand and Ceramic Pro and what we explain to clients about how ceramics work. So again, we aren't boring you, that's the difference. So when you do a true 9H, we put anything between 1 and 5 layers of this on. The next day, after it's baked, we then put a top coat on. The top coat is the hydrophobic, protective, repellent, slide, glide, you know, like super smooth, like a diamond finish. That's how real ceramic works. So don't get caught out with ceramics, because a lot of them out there, you'll put them on, they'll give an amazing finish, they'll glide, they'll repel, they're not actually protecting your car. So don't get too stung up on that. But that's how real ceramic works without boring you. Now, what I want to explain is how protection and coatings work. If you've had a car done by us and it has a real ceramic coating on the paintwork, you would never use, like I said, a wash wax, because a wash wax is going to put an inferior finish on top of that car. So your car will leave us, you'll wash it and everything will fall off and it'll be insane. Then you wash it with a wash wax and it won't repel anywhere near as good. It'll actually repel probably the same as what it would if you went to a car wash and they used the cheap films over the top, until that dissolves, and then your ceramic will be the base that works on it. Keep watching, because I'm going to show you in a minute at the end of this video where we're working on a car and I explain about certain products again and how they work and how we actually operate. So if you want to see a little bit more in detail, keep following. But what I'm going to end the video, this part on, is telling you how basically protection works. If you have a very high-end protection on your car, so we're saying the level of protections here, if you use an inferior product, it will lower the protection to wherever that inferior product is. And the reality is your top end protection, your superior protection, will only be here. Now when this dissolves, your protection level comes back, because obviously the cheap protection or the inferior protection has dissolved, and then you're back to your premium sort of levels of coating or whatever you've used. But this is the thing about how you wash and prep your car. If you use a snow foam on your car that has a protective layering, if you use a wash wax, if you use a waterless wash, if you use a spray detailer, just in general, you are going to lower the quality of your protection on your car every time until that dissolves, and then you come back to this level of protection. The other problem you're going to have is you're generally putting on cheap film layers over the paint, and that's going to dull your paint over time. It's going to put etching into it, and it's also going to put sometimes like a layer over the film, where if you were to machine that car or to give it a polish, which again polish we don't agree with, but that's another video, but if you were to kind of do some work on that car, you would see your colour improving, because the film layers are being taken off of the poorer products. So that's why you should know how to maintain your car if you are keeping up with it. The other thing that's a massive thing that people don't get, say for example you use again a snow foam with a sealant in it to do your pre-wash. Say you do that and you've got no protection on your car whatsoever. It's adding a protection onto your car, that's fantastic. It's also sealing in all the dirt and grime that the snow foam sat over the top of, because you've not necessarily taken it all off. Even if you do take it all off, we will use a repelling snow foam to start with, and then you want to put a high quality wax or a one-shot type product on your car. Say that lasts 12 months, but you've used a repelling or something with a silicone in or something prior to using this product basically. Do you think that's going to last 12 months? Because the answer is no. So what you've actually done is you've got your base of your paint, you've put the cheap film layer on, and then you've put your really high-end product on. What's going to happen is this is going to dissolve when this dissolves. Now this is going to dissolve in probably 3 weeks, maybe less. So you've spent all your time, say a good hour, putting a wax or a sealant on your car or something else, and that is going to dissolve when the inferior layer that you've used from your snow foam or your quick spray or whatever it is dissolves at the same time. So all your work and all the products you've put on is gone. That's why you shouldn't be using these quick, amazing looking, cheap, kind of quick fixes, I should say, products. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm not saying they don't do what they're supposed to do. They do. They do look amazing. But if you are into your car, you are going to lose every bit of work and all the effort you've put in to get your protection up to here. And it also means that that film layer is still kind of leaving a film layer on, so you lose some of your colour a lot of the time, you'll lose some of the pop and sparkle of your metallic, or it just won't have the same finish. So this is again why, when you are going to do some work on your car and you're going to be using a higher end product to keep some protection and maintenance on there, you should only be using snow foam, normal snow foam, a shampoo, drying it properly, not drying it with a drying aid or a quick detailer like we show you on a lot of the videos. This is not when you would use this, because this would again put a poor sort of inferior protection on that this goes on, and they'll dissolve at the same time. So a shampoo only, dry your car, then put your protective layer on. That protective layer will then last as long as it's going to last, or as long as it can last, again depending on your paint conditions, if it's had contamination, if you've detarred it, clay barred it, machined it. These obviously improve timescales, but what I'm trying to say is, for you to have a product that actually is going to last, and a product that's designed to last, do not put anything inferior on first, because you will lose that finish. Go straight from a pure shampoo to your product, put your protection on. When you come to actually work on your car the next time, or maintain your car, you have put the superior product on prior, the wax, the sealant, whatever it might be, and you are literally just going to use your snow foam, your shampoo, and then possibly a quick detail spray to aid over the top, because it works as a drying aid, and top that coating up. This obviously, again, this one's pretty damn good to be fair, but let's say we use QDS. This will not repel as well as what this would, or what this would, but it's adding a top up to that coating. So when that dissolves, you've still got the superior coating on it, where if you did it the other way around and used something like this, or used a snow foam with a repelling agent into it, this is not going to last. You've wasted your time, you've wasted your money, and your car's never going to have a true protection. That's how sealants work, guys. That's how layers work. You've just got to remember, whatever the highest level of your car is for that protection, if you put something inferior over the top, that is what drops that level down with it, and it'll always be that way. Remember that. You'll know what products to buy, you'll know what way to do it, and if you do want to keep up with it, this is a bit of an old one, but go on our website. We've had this for I think about 15 years now, but we do update it. It's a free wash guide. It gives you a guide on how the condition of your car is. So is it port paint, is it moderate, is it detailed? And it gives you a guide on how to maintain your car and what processes to use in what order, and that is free on our website. So go onto the online shop. If you can't find it, it's under accessories, but if you can't find it, go into the search engine and just put wash. It'll come straight up saying wash guide. Click on that, it's completely free of charge. Download it to your phone, your tablet, your laptop, whatever you want to do. Have a look at that every time you wash your car, and it'll give you a guide on how to maintain it without going into any effort. And again, the more protection you've got on your car, or the higher the level of protection that you've put on your car to start with, the less you have to do every time you maintain it. So doing that little bit more now will save you hours washing it every other time. If you need any more help, guys, we're on the phone. Go on the website, go on Facebook, go on WhatsApp, go on whatever you want to do. Send us a message. We've always been here for free advice. We're not really a sales company. I'm the worst salesman in the world. I'm here to do my jobs and my detailing. I will give you whatever advice you need. My staff will give you whatever advice they need. It doesn't matter if you're buying from us or you've already bought from us or elsewhere. Send us a message, give us a call. That we're here to help. That's what we're here for. So I'm just going to spray this one straight onto the car at the minute, just so you can actually see it's genuine, not faking anything, and it just makes things repel and bead. Obviously the video you've seen at the beginning of this shows you about how waxes or sealants and things apply, so hopefully that's given you a little bit of knowledge on how things actually work, and another reason to not use fake products, or if you've got something on your car that's really high end, cover it up with a less superior product, because that's going to cause you to not have the repelling and the beading and the hydrophobic until that dissolves. So hopefully this video has given you a little bit of an insight on how things work. It's not about selling you anything. You can buy whatever you want from wherever you want. That's perfectly fine. But we're here to give you the right advice, genuine advice, and hopefully give you some tips and tricks and a bit of knowledge that you might not have had when it comes to actually using products. said, guys, that is literally QDS. That is a genuine real wax quick detailer. It's not a silicone, it's not anything else. It's a genuine quick detailer. We obviously do the ceramic versions. This is the base version, but it's, I say base because it is our basic product, but it isn't a basic product. It's literally 12 quid a bottle, guys. Have a look online, we're going to do a promotion this weekend for you. But as I say, hopefully this video has given you a bit of an insight on how products really work, and you can understand them a lot more than just fancy adverts and really good photography and videography just trying to sell you something. Thanks again, guys, keep following us.